What's up, YouTube? This is Mama Vina, also known as Divana's mama.
What up, y'all? I'm Mama KP. I'm Khan's mom.
And we are here to dish some tea on our kids. And just what we're doing as a unit with them and for them. And setting a standard, a Christian and a godly and a holy standard for dating for teens. And so we really wanted to weigh in. We've had a lot of people contact us both and say, like, you know what you guys are doing is so awesome. So often there is a social standard of what dating looks like for young people, but what you guys are doing is so purposeful and so magnificent that, you know, I'm grateful to take this journey with you all. And then just also in our positioning in our community, in our church, in the world, we definitely wanted to make sure that we set a platform for not only our kids, but for other youth that are going through the same thing at the same time. So
yes, that's exactly it. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a single mom and raising my son, Khan. And Khan and I have always had a really close relationship, and we've always communicated, and I've always left communication open with him where he can freely communicate with me about everything. So even though we are very close and he is a self-proclaimed mama's boy, he still knows that I'm mama and that if he steps out of line, he will get snatched up.
hey, I love it.
But with that being said, there were a lot of people who told me I wasn't going to be able to raise a boy. A lot of people that told me that. And that didn't discourage me because I know the person that I am, and I knew the morals and values and standards that I wanted to set forth and instill in him. So while, so what I did is I focused on teaching him, you know, by the Bible, you know, what a man's purpose was supposed to be. And from the time he was about 3, he was able to regurgitate that. I remember him even saying things, you know, to his dad about, you know, the Bible says, the word says that a man is supposed to this and a man is supposed to that. So not only did I do that from a Bible standpoint, I also from a practical standpoint, you know, showed him by how I took care of myself, how a woman was supposed to take care of herself. And I also told him and showed him through how I loved him, how I talked to him, how to be able to receive, not only receive, but how to show love. And so people would always be amazed, like, oh my gosh, your son just really loves you. He's very protective of you. I mean, I remember when he was 5, he was setting up rides with his aunties to go get me gifts for Mother's Day, for his birthday, for my birthday, for whatever. I mean, doing all this on his own. And I remember asking him, like, wow, son, you know, remember saying to him, like, wow, son, you don't have to, you know, spend, you know, your money on me. He said, Mom, he said, you spend all your money on me, so why wouldn't I do that for you?
Right.
So I remember always saying, man, whoever ends up with him is going to be the lucky woman, because he really loves, respects, and values women, and he's been taught how to treat them. He's also a very kind and thoughtful just person, period. And for him to be an only child is just amazing. The way he likes to share and you know, just the level of thoughtfulness and consideration he has for others.
Right. And may I just add and interject, by all means, we're not saying this is a sealed deal, like we're not like arranging marriage or anything like that, but we're hopeful because they have built a strong relationship and friendship since the 3rd grade, and they're about 30 something days out of their freshman year in high school. So, you know, by all means, hopeful, you know, that even if in the end they just become really great friends, that they have set a good foundation for even whoever else follows, that neither one of them will fall temptation to the world and the standards of the world of what dating looks like. And then just also to speak on the behalf, like watching Khan in that way, in that manner, reciprocate that affection or respect for my daughter being a single mom and also growing up. I mean, we all grew up. I, at a young age, didn't have those examples. And so for me raising Devana, it was more so, let me make sure I put this as an example in front of you as I've grown in Christ and as I've grown as a woman of this is what you should expect. This is how you should want to be treated. Don't settle for this and don't settle for that. And then also being, young and single still myself, making sure I lead by example of how she should continue to grow. So, not having 50 different men running in and out the house and different things like that. Not only that, but to my position as far as like what I do with other youth and mentoring and things like that. So not living a lifestyle that does one thing but or says one thing and does something else. And so when she mentioned, how like good he is as far as like how he has done for you, my baby is blessed, okay? Blessed. And I have to remind her sometimes because she is a little spoiled. And even though I'm a single parent, her father is very much involved and got her wrapped around his finger as far as, what she needs and how she's supposed to be taken care of. And she's very much a princess, as Khan is the prince. In our lives, right? And so even though I have a son, I also have taken pointers from you as far as, raising my son by myself as a single parent. And even though we also have this huge village that has contributed to our, to how we are raising our children, we are also, along with God, raising them on our own. And so what better way? I mean, there's many nights where you guys like, all right, we're going home, because by all means, there has not been one date, one hanging out, one movie that has not involved supervision, just because we don't want them to fall to the pressures of what dating looks like.
And what their peers, I'll say peers, their peers are saying dating is.
Right.
Before I go into that, I just want to say something. I remember when we started this journey with Khan and Vina, we both said, hey, we don't want them to be like we were, sneaking around dating or whatever. We want to have an open platform and an open line of communication, with our children. And so that's the premise that we stood on in going forward with them. And it's been a blessing because they respect the rules that we set. It's so funny. We should have them come in here and demonstrate how they started out. They can only do the church little side hug. That's how they started out.
Remember when Khan called Devana's dad? They were sitting on this couch. I'm gonna have to find a picture because I took a picture of that moment. And he wanted to talk to Devana's dad about asking if he can give her a front hug or if they can hold hands. Now, I still don't know if they actually even have held hands.
Exactly. That night was super funny. If we can find the footage of that, I'm going to make them post it because it was so funny because I couldn't tell, whose idea it was. Because Devana was kind of like, okay, Con, are you ready to talk? He's like, that's
And I'm like, wait, ready to talk for what? Because I'm like, I know we've been.
Exactly.
So we wonder, what do they want to talk about?
What do y'all want to talk about?
Like, did we fall asleep one day and something happened? Like, what is going on?
But what was cute about it is that when they got on and they talked to Devana's dad, and Devana was doing all his talking, talking to her dad. Con was just kind of like, sitting in the back, and her dad was like, I need to see you, young man, while we're talking about this. And Con got right up there. He listened, and, he, the cool thing about it is that they even thought to ask, hey, can we do, a front hug? Can we hold hands? Kids don't do that.
No, they just be like, look, let's just go all in, okay?
Yes, kids don't do that. And like Davina said, I don't even know if I actually did witness them hold hands. When we went to the state basketball championship, they were holding hands, walking down the street. And it's funny because it's still kind of awkward for them and they're getting used to it.
It's awkward for us too.
It's awkward for us too because I was like, wait a minute, huh? Oh, okay, yeah, we did say y'all could hold hands.
Yes, we did. Okay. Hands.
Yes. So they are so the fact that they asked was a huge step. We very much respected that. Divina's dad respected it. I know Davina respected it. I respected it. It just shows their level of maturity and their level of consideration for the rules that we've set forth for them. But I just want to make one thing very, very clear. The way that they have chosen to date was not our decision.
At all.
We did not say, y'all have to do this. It was like, okay, I like you, you like me.
After they pretended for I don't know how long that they did not.
Pretended.
More so Divina, like, nah, I don't like her. Mom, nah. I said the boy is bringing you McDonald's to school every day.
Every day. We're pulling up to McDonald's. I'm like, why are you getting 2 sandwiches or 3 sandwiches? No. He was like, because mom. So it started out just because mom, right? So at this time he's a growing boy, and like the kids told you, he's an athlete. So he's a growing boy. So I'm thinking he's eating the sandwiches. So then I'm like, why are you getting, multiple sandwiches? I'm giving one to Divina. I'm like, what?
You buying Divina breakfast every morning?
I was like, you buying Divina breakfast every morning?
So I worked at the school that they went to, so I would see them interacting a little bit in the hallways or different things. And so one day I'm like, did you eat breakfast? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you don't even like that breakfast. She was like, well, Con brought me McDonald's. First of all, ain't no boy bringing you no McDonald's.
I was at that.
Unless you like him. I thought you don't like him. And so.
Well, their story's so funny. And it's so interesting that we can sit down and talk about this because, you got Divina's story. I got Con's story. So we go back to 4th grade. I guess Divina wrote a note or something asking, I don't know what she was asking. I can't remember what she was asking. But I just remember Con saying, Mom, I was like, no, we're only however many years old or whatever. We can just be friends. Because I guess it was a rumor going around school that they liked each other or whatever. And so Divina just kind of like put him on the spot with it. And so Con denied it, but he really liked her. And so he came home and told me what he told her. And I thought it was a little harsh. He's kind of direct and straight to the point. So I said, well, Con, I thought you said she's your friend. He said, she is, Mom. I said, okay, well, then you need to switch that up. You need to switch that up in how you talk to her. So I remember he had a conversation with his dad. And his dad gave him some little pointers. So he went back to school did he write her a note? I can't remember. Somehow he talked to her and told her, like, I like you, but like we're friends, we're too young for that, so let's just keep it in the friend stage. So that's 4th grade, right? Fast forward. 8th grade. Now, Con has full-fledged decided that he likes Divina. So now Divina's kind of like, okay.
But Mama said, ain't no boyfriend, okay?
Right.
You're not doing that.
Right.
Concentrate on your studies. I know what kids are doing nowadays, and sadly, dating even in 8th grade is like the thing. And I'm like, look, girl, finish school. Both of you guys need to concentrate on getting your grades where they need to be. We both had plans of them going to the schools or respective schools that they're attending, and we knew that their grades were going to be very adamant in their being accepted into those schools. And that was most important at that time.
And that's what I told him. Okay, you like her, I get it, but you're 14. Where are you going? Dating? Where are you going? Wherever you going, I'm gonna have to take you.
Right.
There's not even
now. Granted, date nights is fun because we
do. We have like we kick it like for real.
I'm like, man,
and like we're pretty much their entertainment.
Yeah.
They think we're super hilarious.
Right.
So, not that he was like thinking about like really, really date, but he was like to the point to where he liked her. And so, I remember, he was like really liking her. I remember he was going to get her something for Valentine's Day. He had this whole thing planned out. And I'm like, what? You asking me to go to the store and buy something for a girl? What is really going on?
Right.
So, like a day or two before Valentine's Day, Miss Vina, like she said, she works at the school. So she was like, I don't know how she
I went
came
to the cafeteria where they be at 8th grade lunch. I went in the cafeteria, was like, look, Kai, do you like Devonna? And at this point, I didn't realize that he was so intimidated by my presence. And I was like, is you scared of me or something? And he was like, yes. I was like, oh, my bad. Maybe I need to, tone it down a little bit. But it really blessed me because I felt like most young men wouldn't be honorable enough to say, yes, I really do like your daughter. And being honest and say, look, you really do scare me. And, whatever. So I started taking into consideration, like, okay, she's getting older. I know this is coming up. God, prepare me for this next stage in life. And so February, fast forwarding on to graduation.
Well, wait, let's go back because I remember he came home and he was like, he was hurt because he'd had this whole thing planned. Well, no. So he told Miss Vina that yes, he liked Devonna, and yes, he was a little intimidated by her. And she said, well, Devonna can't have no boyfriend.
I did say that. And
so he came home like defeated. And I was like, well, son, that's okay. I said, because I told you don't need to be dating anyway, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, I like her, whatever. And for Valentine's Day, I was going to ask her if she'd be my girlfriend. But this is what he told me. I'm going to respect her mom's wishes. Mm-hmm. And so from February on to June, he absolutely did. He absolutely respected that. Mm-hmm. He didn't cross the line. They maintained their friendship. They weren't really talking that much. I mean, they talk every now and then. It's like normal talking. Mm-hmm. Their relationship didn't change very much. So fast forward to June.
Graduation day.
Right.
So this is, in our district, graduation is first week in June. For 8th grade or completion of school. And Devonna's father was in town. And when I say Khan he has so much like integrity, and he's just, his poise is so like of a much older young man. And so he met her dad because her father lives in another state, and was very respectful, shook his hand. My dad was there.
He met the folks.
He met everybody. Like, you would have thought we all been hanging out.
Right.
And literally we stood in the middle of the street for hours just talking. And Devonna's father, Mario, was like, look, I like that young man. He was very respectful. He got out the car. He shook my hand. He respected boundaries. There's something with that one. And when I got the green light, because we already knew how the kids felt about the situation, but being able to get the green light as far as that. Now, with him, I respect him as a father, and even being a single mom, I think that's important just to even weigh in a little bit on that, is that even though he's not physically present every single day, he is very much so present in her life, in the decisions that are made, and how we move and do things. And so it was important for me to have him agree that under our supervision that it was okay, because that's his daughter too. Mm-hmm. And so with that, they eventually start hanging out more, talking a lot.
They started talking a lot. Mm-hmm. We were going to your favorite spot,
Green Mill.
And they Khan was playing baseball at the time. Mm-hmm. They came to a couple baseball games.
Yeah. We went out of town, and that's when
that was in August.
Now, that was the end of July, early August.
Yes, end of July, because you guys were gone for a while.
And Devonna's grandfather had passed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think this is when it kind of clicked for her, because Khan called and checked on her as we traveled. He called and said, where are you guys at now? As if like he could come to her rescue. And so I just started looking at like this man, look at this young boy and how he, and I'll even say young man because he's grown into a young man, and look how he is caring for your whereabouts and caring about how you're doing and your well-being as far as like how you're feeling and things like that. And I think that's when it starts solidifying more so in her heart and her mind. Like, man, he really does care about me and like how I feel and what's going on with me. Not to say that other people hadn't checked in on her, but how he did it was that of somebody that really cares about her. And so we got back, and then that's when they just really start hanging out. And that's when she finally admitted, Mom, I really like Khan. I said, duh. Like, I'm glad you've come to your senses. And so that's when we started really going to the games. And, you know, they started syncing their calendars and things like that. And it just came natural. Mm-hmm. It wasn't forced. It wasn't anything. But then they also began to, I think, realize, like, the standards that they both have. And that even through this relationship, there's purpose. Mm-hmm. And so over time and over the past, what has it been, 8 months?
August 8th, 2018.
8/8/18
is when they started dating. So they've just had their, 5 months?
Is it? No, it's
longer. They just hit the 5 months.
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months.
8 months. They just hit the 8-month mark. So, everything that she says is absolutely correct. I think in the beginning it was scary for everybody and new territory because the kids are trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this? You know, be in this relationship and still have friends.
Mm-hmm. They've dealt with a lot of adversity as far as friends and people.
Yes,
trying to come against what they have going on. And then even just standing on, you know.
Yeah, because he comes home and tells me about people getting caught in the back. But his friends that go to other schools. Now, Khan goes to private school. Devina goes to private school. But let's back all the way up. He used to tell me stories about in middle school about how girls were doing things to boys that they shouldn't be doing at 11 and 12 years old. Doing some stuff that as a grown woman, like, I wouldn't even be doing. So, they've always been faced with adversity. And I think they've always been able to, like you said, just stand firm in their truth and their beliefs, which is hard to do for some people. I just want to say that I really, really like Devina, because she reminds me a lot of myself.
That's mini her. And me and Khan, we are so chill. Like, we just be like, okay. Like, we vibe on a whole nother.
Yes.
These two be turned up. They're the 10 and we're the 2.
Yes.
And so we meet in the middle somewhere.
Yes.
And it's fun. And then there's Journey, who is just like baby mascot for everything. He's always rooting them on and wants to be a part. And what did he tell me yesterday? His name is
Journey Powell II.
Yes, because he wants to be and Khan's brother and all this other stuff. So anyway, this is just one of our mini videos that we wanted to share with you guys. We also wanted to just make sure that you know that we are totally aboard with this. They have a huge village that are rooting for them separately, but then also together. And that ultimately, wherever this goes, I think that there has been a true platform and a bond that has been, kind of established here. And that as long as we keep God in the middle and then at the center of it all, that He'll get the glory in it. And we hope that you guys are in it for the long haul as we are, as much as we can be. And that, one day, who knows what's going to happen. I know I'm rooting for, a couple of travels. But more than anything, just, letting you guys know, like, this is a way of going about it. This is a way to sit down with your child and your teen and say, hey, you know what? This is a young couple that you guys can look at for a route or blueprint or a guide as to what dating can look like for you. And every video that you guys see, every picture that you pretty much see, we're there. And we're taking them, or we're pushing go. And so just making sure that you guys understand. And I know a lot of times people say there's no blueprint, there's no way. But there is a blueprint, and it's with Christ, and that's who we keep at the center of it all. And we talk a lot just because
even sidebar, they think they know everything. They don't.
But I know that every relationship communication is key, and so and even a way for them to continue their relationship, our communication has been very much key in how things are going to move, and how, you know, we're going to keep them on the right track. And with college being, you know, a primary focus of both of ours, to secure the bag and the financial side of things as well.
I think that's when Divina's dad really started liking Karen, because at first he was like 5 feet. 5 feet. Then he said, young man, what you want to do with your life? As soon as Karen told him, he was like, okay, come over here. Come stand right here. Right here. This man got a plan. No.
Right. Definitely. And then also maintaining the grades. So even though they're shooting video today and stuff, it was like, okay, get your homework done first. Make sure your chores are done. Like, this does not take precedent over anything else that they need to do to maintain and stay grounded in who they are and what we're setting before them. Because don't nobody want no woman that can't clean, can't cook, can't do nothing. Okay?
Amen.
And, also...
And then no woman wants a man that's not going to be a provider and protector. And love her as he loves Christ.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So please...
Anyway, if you heard it here, the tea with Mama Vina
and Mama KP. Please comment, like, subscribe, follow, all of that. But please, give us your comments, give us ideas of topics you'd like us to cover, questions you have. I mean, keep it real. I mean, we're very open.
I hope this video wasn't too long, but we just needed to set the standard just for those who may eventually, because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So we want to put the fire out before it even starts. So
yes.
Anyway, like we say, y'all gotta hear, y'all heard it first from the parents. And stay tuned. The best is yet to come.